Hello everyone, welcome to Mila's Journey to Self. And today I wanted to talk to you about the next quite important and significant part of my journey. And I hope that it will encourage you to think outside the box if you feel stuck in a certain situation. So, as I talked in my previous videos, I went to a breakdown, and after being on medication and going to conventional therapy and just doing the conventional things, conventional approach to healing, I started to notice that I wasn't moving forward as much as I had hoped. And that moment when I was sitting at the playground and looking at my kids, and I felt like I was not part of that movie. I was like watching at it as it was passing me by. I really realized that I'm not living my life, I'm just sort of existing. And that was such a strong moment for me, where I thought, okay, I need to change something, I need to do something, I need to figure out a way how to move forward from this. That took me a little while to figure out what that is, or how I can move forward. But through, once again, synchronicities, I was talking to my sister, and she was telling me about a friend who has tried some sort of alternative approach to healing with somebody, and gave me an idea that maybe that is the answer for me. And through yet another synchronicity, as my friend was visiting here from the States, we were talking with her, and she introduced me to a woman who uses a certain approach. It's not really a therapy. She uses a certain approach where we worked with her over Skype for the next year and a half, 3 times a week. I would sit down for an hour with her, and we would work through the problems. It's kind of hard to describe. You close your eyes and you start feeling your body, and you go to the physical signs within your body. That's where you start. You notice, okay, my shoulder's pulling, or I feel like this heaviness in my stomach or something. And that was always where we started. The psychosomatic syndromes, that's where we started. We would look at that and then concentrate on that, and with time it was sort of like connected with meditation a little bit. Through that we would come, certain pictures would arise with her guidance, of course. Certain pictures would arise that will lead me to answers, and then she has a way in which you kind of close the cycle so that it doesn't bother you anymore. Basically, the idea is that throughout life, through our experiences in life, we collect certain experiences, and they are put in like a bank. And this bank, that experience, the emotion that you felt within that experience, gets stored within your body. And for as long as you didn't close that cycle, it reproduces that emotion over and over again. Now, I've heard the description for this in other words but basically it's all the same. We experience things, the emotions get stored in our body, and we keep relieving these emotions until we dealt with them, until we truly felt these emotions. Instead of resisting them, you accept it within yourself, you live through it, and then you are able to release it. It was an incredible experience, I have to say. I was resisting at first. With her, I was able to get off medication over time, and I started to truly feel again, because the antidepressant medication it has its place. I'm not saying it's all bad. There's some situation when it can help, but it does basically makes you feel less. It kind of clouds you. And with her, I got off the medication and I started to really feel, and then I started to concentrate on those feelings and started to finding where those feelings are coming from and just living through those experiences and closing those cycles so that I could finally let go of them. And that in itself just pulled me out. The first sessions we had with her, I cried and cried and cried and cried, and then we got to the point where I started laughing and I started feeling good and feeling light. And even people at work were telling me that you have changed so incredible, like you have this lightness about you. I started to be less stressed out. I felt more able to deal with the stress resistant, um, more able to accept what's coming my way. And that was incredible in itself. But what I want to tell you here today is that, sometimes when we do the conventional approach and we notice that it's not working anymore, I want to encourage you to look into the idea of maybe taking a look around you. There are so many alternative ways to healing nowadays, so many options that are available to us. And yes, not everything is free. You will have to pay for some of it, and you have to. But I believe that investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever do. And so this is why I wanted to tell you about this story. This woman, just what she did for me is that was very significant. She just opened my world up. I realized after working with her that there is more to this physical than just this physical reality that we live in. There's way more to that. There's forces around us that we can connect to. That was, I believe that was really a beginning of my spiritual journey. It was sort of like the beginning of my awakening, and just knowing that, first of all, I am much more than just this body within me, that there is energies around us, that we're connected to the source energy, that we're so much bigger than just that what we experience in this physical reality. That was the most significant step on my journey. And that was, besides the fact that she pulled me out of this deep depression that I was in, and I was able to let go of my medication and just started to feel good again, the another big part of that was that she really opened my eyes to more. And when I think about it now, growing up, I always knew there was more. I always felt there was more. But it was, I grew up in the Soviet Union. We were growing up without religion. It was a communistic society. There was no talk about God or anything like that. But I grew up in a small little village. We had witches, we had people that danced to call rain, and we had people that healed. If you had a really bad toothache, then you go to this grandma and she does her magic and the toothache disappears and things like that. It was always there. But as I got a little bit older, that was like, that's not what we deal with. That's all woo-woo stuff. And so I just kind of got away from that. And she kind of connected me to that part of myself, connected me to that awareness, and just made me realize that there is so much more that we can work with. It was a very significant part of my journey. And I really hope that each and every one of you experience that awakening at some point in your life, because it gives you so much strength. It gives you just this this expansion. I can't even really describe it in words. When you experience that, you know that you just grew. Your soul expanded to such heights that you could never imagine before, and it gives you so much strength. I think that was one of the reasons I was able to come out of that hole I was in, is through that experience of expansion. That was the beginning of my awakening, and that was incredible. So if you are stuck in a rut and maybe you're not feeling good, you're depressed, or you're experiencing difficulties in life and you don't know where to turn to, in the conventional methods you have tried and they don't work for you, and you don't know where to go from there, I really want to tell you to consider alternative ways for healing. I had a session with Marisa Pierce, rapid transformational therapist. That was an incredible experience. It's a hypnotherapy that takes you back through your childhood, through the most important parts of that. And that was an incredible experience. I wrote that all down after the session. It was just what I lived through there was undescribable. So rapid transformational therapy, I can suggest look into that. Marisa Peer, or Pierce, I don't know if I'm saying the name right. She's an incredible therapist. I even we went to a therapist here in Germany because my daughter had some issues with social anxiety, and that helped really, really good. And I started to believe really in alternative ways of healing. I believe that there's so much that we can heal with changing the energy within ourselves. In the end, we all can only heal ourselves. When we work with other people, they only guide us and help us to find that strength and that energy within ourselves, and just kind of guide us towards the healing. But the healing itself happens within us, and we have to take the responsibility for that healing. So as always, I hope that you find some inspiration in this. I hope it pushes you to look outside the box if you're stuck. If you have any questions about anything I'm saying, or you want to look into something more, just DM me and we can talk about it, or write a comment under the screen. If you find it interesting or helpful, to share it with others. Sending you all lots of love and light, and I'll see you soon. Bye.